Afternoon, and you are welcome to Fingerprints. Today happens to be another Tuesday, and we are here to discuss about this topic: one ECOWAS, one money. It's a job creation plan. So this afternoon, we are asking. You can see that the vision of the ECOWAS, leaders have been talking about it for years, but today we are not asking if it's possible. We are asking what benefit would ECOWAS gain from introducing a single currency for jobs and income growth or economic growth. We will also look at what the ECOWAS community will be able to do to overcome challenges and also to come out in the right way. I will do this with Honorable Samuel Ashiago and Benjamin Luchu. My name is Ni Odai Kofi. We'll go in for short commercials. When we come back, we'll start the main topic. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Children have a very high nutritional demand in relation to their size, and vitamins play an important role in maintaining healthy growth. That is why we at Base Pharmacy Company Limited have introduced Base Vite Kid Drops, a multivitamin drop with 7 essential vitamins including vitamin A, D, B1, B2, B6, and vitamin C to aid your child's healthy growth. Base Vite Kid multivitamin drops have been specially formulated to help meet your child's nutritional requirements, helping them to get back to playtime faster. With Base Vite Kid drops from Base Pharmacy Company Limited. For further inquiries of bulk purchase, call Base Pharmacy Company Limited on 0302 672 317 or 0247 287 853.
This advert is FDA approved.
Are you looking for a media house for your upcoming events? Welcome to Omashi TV Production Crew, a digital station that offers live event coverage such as conferences, parties, corporate meetings, weddings, and live streaming on all social media platforms. Soft copies of events or production can be made available upon request. For further inquiries, call Omashi TV on 0536 772 262 or 0244 425 652. Omashi TV Production. Ajwa Twing Man Kamisha.
Where the heart burns bright, through every storm and every night. No final shore, just open air, forever free.
So we are right back, and this is Fingerprints. As I said earlier on, we are going to talk about one currency, the ECU or ECU. What it's going to do for the West Africa region. And I have with me here Honorable Samuel Ashiago. So Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
It has been a while.
Yes, please.
And so Honorable, I think this topic is crucial.
Yes, yes.
So what I want to ask is, so what are the direct economic benefits of a single ECOWAS currency?
All right. Good afternoon to all viewers. As you said, this topic is a very crucial topic. We know that ECOWAS has been established for about 51 years. And one of the key objectives of the ECOWAS is to promote economic integration. But over the years, we've seen that African countries or West African countries have not been well integrated. So this has had a very negative impact on the African economy. But as you are saying, should we implement the ECO as a common currency for the West African country, what is going to be the impact on our various economies? So I believe one of the key impacts is a broader market for African economies. Unfortunately, we, the African countries, have been using our own various currency. We don't seem to have a common African currency, and that has had a very negative impact on our various economy. I think that when you have different currencies, it makes it difficult to even understand someone else's country's currency. For us in Ghana, we find it difficult to understand what the CFA means. So it makes it very difficult for us to do business with our own neighboring countries. They have markets for us, but we don't seem to know how to transact business with them, simply because we don't have a common currency. So implementing the ECO will help us have a broader market for our goods and services, which can go a long way to promote business growth in our various African countries and also boost jobs. You know, one of the main challenges of African countries, I don't want to say developing countries, African countries, is the fact that...
Well, why are you not saying developing?
So it depends what criteria we should use. Unfortunately, we've allowed ourselves to be labeled in any way based on what someone else's definition is. If we should look at how rich we are in terms of natural resources, I don't think it should give us room for calling ourselves a poor country. We just need to get our things right and everything will be okay.
So looking at the over 400 million people that are going to use that one currency, is it going to help the companies?
Yeah, definitely. We have about 400 million population for the West African sub-region alone. That is about 15 countries put together. So it will have a very positive impact on our economy. It's not supposed to be compulsory to be part of the countries that are using the ECO. It's optional. But should we use it? It has a very positive impact on our various economies. You see, it makes it difficult for us to establish businesses outside Ghana. There are times you need to go outside to establish a business and succeed there. But because we don't seem to have a common currency, it makes it difficult. And sometimes too, when you don't have a common currency, you are expected to pay for conversion rates for any transaction that you do, making the cost of business quite expensive. So it's very good that we promote the usage of one common African currency to promote business growth in the various African countries.
Okay. So Ben is here. So Ben, same question. We are talking about the one currency for ECOWAS. So what's your take? The question we are talking about now is, what are the direct economic benefits of a single ECOWAS currency? And Honorable has brought his view. What about you?
Yeah, the ECOWAS was created to promote African economy, especially the 15 West African countries. So one of their mandates was to create a currency within the 15 African countries so that there will be easy trade within these 15 West African countries. But you realize that since 2000, when the initiative was brought, due to some challenges, the ECO hasn't come to fulfillment. The plan hasn't come to fulfillment that the ECO should be a single currency among the ECOWAS countries. So, what would be the benefit if the ECO is being launched? Some of the benefit could be easy trade within these 15 African countries, because when I'm moving goods from Ghana to Togo, because of one currency that we are using, so there'll be easy transactions at the border. I don't get to exchange rates at the border because we are all using one currency, so I just pay at the border. Or when I get to Togo, when I'm being paid in ECO, there is no any exchange of money there, or there is no exchange of money, because with the CD, when I get to Togo and I'm being paid in CFA, I have to convert it into cedis.
So either it will go up or
it will come down, or it's equivalent. It will never be the same. But so with the ECO, when you are being paid in the ECO, it's still the same. You know how much maybe 15 ECO is. You know how much 20 ECO is. You will not now come and sit down to do the exchange rate. And also it helps in transaction, easy transaction, because per report it's been said that people lose 3 to 5% exchange rate at every border because of the exchange of the currency, because you are exchanging into another person's currency. So there's a bit of, let's say, charges there. So people lose 3 to 5% of these charges due to the exchange, money exchange. So when these are some of the benefits, though there are more benefits, but due to time I'll just lay on these two. These are some of the benefits that when the ECO is being launched, the 15 African countries under ECOWAS are going to enjoy. You realize that was one initiative from Nkrumah, our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, that Africa should be united so that we all use the same currency. But due to some African countries overspending and overburdenedness, now we all can't use the same currency.
Okay. Honorable has a point.
Yes, so we all know that we in African countries have always been relying on the usage of the US dollars.
Yes.
And in these times, you can also see the BRICS trying to have their own currency to compete with the US dollar. I think what we can do as African countries is also to ensure that we use the ECO so that the over-reliance on the US dollar will come down. We all know that when you use a particular currency a lot, it promotes high demand for it. And whenever there is high demand for something, there is the chances that the price or the value of that thing will go up high. So that's what we've been doing, and it's gone a long way to have impact on our various local currencies, making it difficult to match the CD to the US dollar. It's quite unfathomable when you see the US dollar about 12 cedis matching with our CD 12 CD matching with $1 US. It's not a positive signal. So I think what we can also do as African country is to reduce the over-reliance on the US dollar so that its strength will come down and also give us the chance to grow our various African countries and also make our currencies much stronger. I don't think the ECO will completely wipe out our CDs. It's a common currency that we can use alongside our own various local currencies. But it's going to be a common denominator for us to easily travel to other African countries. It's difficult to go to a place like Togo because you don't even have their currency to transact or do business or go on holidays there. So all this thing has been affecting us in various ways. You don't always need to go to Dubai. You don't always have to go to Dubai or Europe we can have fun just amongst us, the African countries. There are a lot of good things here, but because we don't have a common currency, it has gone a long way to appear as if we are speaking different languages. Imagine I don't understand French and you speak French to me. There's not going to be any goal. We cannot communicate, we cannot do anything. That is the impact on our economy when it comes to the lack of the common currency for us, the African countries. And like I was saying, Africa or ECOWAS was formed 51 years ago, but we have not been able to implement this goal. I mean, the ECOWAS set a target to implement this next year. And then the young ones, the younger generation, the unborn generation are looking up to our African leaders to ensure that we implement this positive idea. This shouldn't be a promise and fail matter. Something that is long overdue and we have to do to ensure that the African countries become what they deserve to be.
Okay. So, Honorable, so looking at this, so if we compare to the euro, right, that is for the European countries, and they use the euro across, and they are more than the number we have here, that's the ECOWAS. So why don't we also, someone will say, copy them, and also, as you mentioned in your submission, Africa should unite and do that, rather than maybe only the West Africa countries.
Yes, so you know the European countries have the European Union, and they also have similar goals just like us. So we like to study the Europeans a lot, but the good things about them we don't like to implement.
That's true. That's true.
If they are using the euro, then it means that we also have a common currency. The European countries do not have a barrier. They can easily move from one country to the other, transact business with one another. But that hasn't been the case in Africa or ECOWAS. So we need to really copy them well. They even study English, even though a country like Germany, they don't speak English. They still study in their school. So it makes it easy for them to transact business with one another. So it's high time Africa also started such an initiative to make our country better. You see, if you want to do any good thing, you will have opposition. In this world, no one really wants you to succeed except yourself. So it's the same situation with the African countries. We don't have to wait for the Europeans to tell us to do this and that. The common sense that they have, we have seen. So we just have to put it to action and make our lives better. It is long overdue. The youth of African countries who finish school and travel outside. Sometimes they go as young as 18 years to seek greener pastures. Meanwhile, we are sitting on heavy resources that the world does not easily have. So let us come together to build one strong African economy.
Okay. So now let me come to Ben. So how can the ECO specifically create jobs for young people in Ghana, in the region?
By making businesses, how do I put it? By making businesses expand in the sense that a Ghanaian can employ, let's say, a Senegalese tech person to come work in Ghana here if we are all using the same currency. It's a form of job creation. But if you are using cedis and the Senegal people are using CFA, when you are going to pay the person, it won't be exact the amount you are paying the person in the CFA currency. It will be either up or down or equivalent to whatever amount you are paying the person in the CFA currency. And also it boosts the economy by making businesses travel across all the African countries, because with one single currency, I can move easily to, let's say, Togo with my business. I can move to Senegal with my business because of one currency that is between these countries. Like Honorable used the European Union as an example. You realize that someone from Spain can travel to Greece or France or any of the European Union countries just to go do business because of one single currency. There is no any currency risk there, because if for instance, if I'm using CD and CFA and I'm going to trade in Senegal, there is this currency risk. I might not get the exact amount that I've invested in the business, or I'm going to invest in the business. So there is this easiness when it comes to trade and business as well.
I think this is some currency of the CFA, the Africa countries that use the CFA.
Yeah.
So like Togo use CFA, Senegal use CFA.
Most of the French African-speaking countries use the CFA.
That we see on the screen. So let me come to Honorable. Honorable, same question. So we are talking about the ECO, the ECO. So how can the ECO specifically create jobs for young people in Ghana and the region?
Yes, so like we've been trying to say, the ECO will make it easy for labor mobility. You, as a young person, can identify opportunity in maybe Cote d'Ivoire and explore that opportunity. Let's say Cote d'Ivoire will be known for manufacturing of goods and services, and it also helps to create a market. Create a market for goods and services that are being produced. The unfortunate thing is that sometimes when people come up with a business and they produce something, they are unable to have demand for their goods and services, and it goes a long way to collapse their business or investment. So by having a common African currency, it will make it easy for the youth to find in one country or the other. You might think there is no job in Ghana, but should you relocate to a different African country, you will get a job there or new opportunities there which you can develop and make something huge out of. The African market is already big, but we need the ideas and the willingness to start something to provide goods and services for our own self. So it really has a very positive impact on the African economy. Should we take IT for example? Let's say a country like Kenya is good at IT, like my brother uses as an example. It will help us broaden our knowledge in those areas, because there is going to be easy ways to migrate to other places and broaden your horizon. And you can also decide to come back home and implement those ideas here and make something good out of it, or make good money out of it.
Okay, so now if we look at the ECO that we are talking about and compared to the Euro, now you see in the Europeans, they can travel across all the European countries. There's no border problem. There's no airport or whatever problem, because they are within the European countries. But in Africa here, from here going to another African country is wahala. It is not easy at all. So even if they are starting the ECO, the ECOWAS region, then they have to look at this one before it can get a positive result.
Yes, I think we are making a good move. Africa or Ghana is opening up to other African countries for easy, movements. There's been a reduction on visa restrictions amongst African countries. Ghana has taken a bold step. Rwanda is doing that. So I think that gradually there is some awakening on the need to reduce those border restrictions. And then the ECOWAS too is doing a very great job by making sure that we start using a common currency. If you look at the East African countries, their plan to implement that is in 2031, which is far ahead.
To implement
a common currency for that block alone, the East African countries
like
Uganda,
Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya.
Yeah. So they have not thought of it like we are doing here, so it's a good thing. And even us in West Africa, we are starting mainly with some selected countries, countries that are not really using the CFA. So countries like Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria. So it's a common thing that about 6-7 countries are doing. And I'm sure if we do it well, the remaining African countries like Cote d'Ivoire will also want to join us. We've seen the Sahel states taking bold steps to have a common currency. And it's the reason why a lot of people are admiring them for their good efforts. And I think there needs to be a competition. Yes, if ECOWAS for some time is unable to live up to expectation, and our neighboring Sahel countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger are doing it, then we all fall in line with them to make sure that there is rapid growth and development.
Okay. So now looking at the ECO that we are talking about, do you see it that it can make business faster? Companies also, because it is one currency, it's going to be easy for them to establish in these countries that you are talking about, and also looking at countries that are going to be in this, well, in terms of transportation, logistics, tourism, and a whole lot. Do you think it's going to help them?
Yes. Because since there is one currency between these countries, it makes business flow easier. Because if I'm to move from Ghana to Senegal, there's going to be transportation. I'm using the ECO, so I get to use the ECO to pay for my transport services. And if I'm moving logistics too as well, I'm going to use the same ECO to pay for the movement of this logistics. And when it comes to tourism too as well, you can't go and visit any tourist site without paying. So you are going to use this same ECO to pay to visit all these tourist sites. So with the use of one currency, it makes even these countries that belong to this ECOWAS, their economy to move smoothly, because you don't get to overspend within your budget. But because these countries are using different currencies, so this country get to overspend, and some even go into debt and stuff. But with the ECO, I get to be corrected though. I haven't heard any European country that has run into debt because they are all using the same currency. So you are being checked by this European Union to be within your budget. So with the ECO, it also forces our African leaders to spend within their budget. You don't get to overdo things that will affect the currency, because the currency is there to improve all these economies, the economic activities of these countries as well. So with one currency, it makes business and other activities flow easily within this ECOWAS countries.
Okay. So with one currency, it will let business be so quick, so fast, as Ben said. And we know if the leaders are able to put this not on just paper and not the code that we see on the screen, but it comes to fruition, physical, that is working. I think gradually we will get there. We're going for short commercials. So when we come back, we have more fun. Don't go away.
Children have a very high nutritional demand in relation to their size, and vitamins play an important role in maintaining healthy growth. That is why we at Base Pharmacy Company Limited have introduced Base Vite Kid Drops, a multivitamin drop with 7 essential vitamins including vitamin A, D, B1, B2, B6, and vitamin C to aid your child's healthy growth. Base Vite Kid multivitamin drops have been specially formulated to help meet your child's nutritional requirements, helping them to get back to playtime faster. With Base Vite Kid drops from Base Pharmacy Company Limited, for further inquiries of bulk purchase, call Base Pharmacy Company Limited on 0302 672 317 or 0247 287 853.
This advert is FDA approved.
Are you looking for a media house for your upcoming events? Welcome to Mashi TV Production Crew, a digital station that offers live event coverage such as conferences, parties, corporate meetings, weddings, and live streaming on all social media platforms. Soft copies of events or production can be made available upon request. For further inquiries, call Umashi TV on 0536 772 262 or 0244 425 652. Umashi TV Production. Ajwa Swing Man can mean shit.
We are right back still on fingerprint, and we are talking about the one currency that the West Africa countries want to use and what results will it bring. So now let me start from Ben. So Ben, what are the biggest challenges ECOWAS must fix before launching the ECO?
You know, before ECOWAS can launch this ECO, these 15 West African countries that are within the ECOWAS region.
The Honorable says that they are starting with some, not
Yes,
all.
Not all.
Starting with Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the Gambia.
Oh, okay. So that's 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So within these 5 African countries, you realize that these countries have got different economies. The way Ghana do their things are different from the way these other African countries do their things. So you realize that inflation, debts, and other stuff could affect this ECO, the launching of this ECO, because as I said earlier, every government with the way they budget their things, with the way they do their things, so there need to be this form of discipline within these 5 African countries so that the ECO would be able to stand. And secondly, there need to be fiscal discipline. Fiscal discipline in the sense that countries should not overspend within their budget. When you look at this current government, I think they are doing well. They are not overspending. So people are really crying that there is no money in the system. It's because they are not overspending. They are not spending on unnecessary things, but rather...
That's what it means. That's what it means.
Yes, physical discipline. Don't overspend beyond your budget.
Okay.
Yeah, or don't overspend on things that are not necessary, because other governments will love to employ more people just to contain that amount of money that they've set. But with this government, they've reduced it so that those extra monies will be used to do better things within this country. And also, infrastructures in these countries need to improve, especially road network. When you look at our country, Ghana, I think, is it 6 months or 7 months more for Ghana to be 70 years, but yet still our roads are not good.
So bridges and things supposed to be fixed well.
Yes. 6 months to our 70th independence, and still our road networks are not good in this country. So I think we need to improve when it comes to infrastructure, roads, bridges, and all other infrastructures need to be improved.
Okay.
Yes, so like my brother was saying, we shouldn't just talk about ECOWAS without talking about easy movement. It's very important to look at our railway construction, make it easy for us to commute from one place to the other. I think that the ECOWAS implementation in general can help strengthen the various African countries. It shouldn't be like because you are an ECOWAS country, it is compulsory that you must join. That you should join even when your economy is not good. There should be a common convergence for countries that will be using the ECO, and one of them should be the rate of inflation. We should make sure that in your country you are operating a single-digit inflation before you are allowed to enroll on the ECO. If not, it will bring about this stability in the whole system. So ECO can go a long way to ensure fiscal discipline among the various African countries or economies. The other thing is that there shouldn't be a situation where your debt to GDP is too high. It needs to be low so that you can have enough money to develop your country. If you're a country that you are producing all right, but your debt is high, it means that you have to be servicing your debt, and it goes a long way to make it difficult for you to have money to develop your country. So there's going to be challenges, all right. You see, the political will to implement this is also going to be a problem. Definitely you have opposition if you want to do something good. It's not going to be easy. Unfortunately, we have African leaders, but they are not thinking so much about the people they serve.
That is very true.
Yes, it's the truth, and I'll admit to that. If we are to be speaking the honest truth to the people we serve, we will not be in this situation that we are in.
Exactly.
How come the African Union knows very well that their core mandate is to promote economic integration, but even the businessman, the world African richest man, he doesn't have easy access to travel to one African country and the other. If he is having such a challenge, how much more those of us who are who are now coming now? You see? So I don't know how we understand independence. We understand independence to be like you should be just on your own, but that is not how Kwame Nkrumah taught us about independence, right? It's supposed to be a common independence, not just independence for one African country. So it's something that we really need to do something about. But I'm happy about the fact that it will bring about some form of fiscal discipline among the African countries. You know, a country like UK, even though they used to be part of the European Union, they've never been using the ECO.
They use the euro.
They use their pound sterling.
Yes.
Prior to their exit, that's the Britain exit or Brexit, they've never been using the ECO. So it shouldn't be like if you're an African country, it should be compulsory that you should be part of the ECO. So we need to do it very well so that the countries that become part of the ECO are very strong, not just any country at all. If you look at Nigeria's inflation rate, it's around 15%, and Ghana's inflation rate is around 5.3%. It used to be like 3.7%.
So we are in the single digits.
Is also in the single digit, around 7%. So, and one of the requirements for joining the ECO is to, or using the ECO, is to have inflation rate in the single digit. So it means that if your economy is not being managed well, we should not even consider you to be using the ECO. So it's good that we started in a small way, whereby we are not using the francophone countries. Their economy might be good in some ways and bad in some ways as well, because you know their case is also some way, even though they have the free ports, their national reserve, they've been depositing it with France. And France gives them...
They are talking about Togo?
Yes, those francophone countries.
All of them?
Yes, that's why. And when they want their money back, it's given to them as loans. So it doesn't make sense. That is why these Sahel countries, Mali, Burkina, they are revolting against those practices because it doesn't make sense. If they claim to be sovereign African states, so those countries really need to look at their economies very well. But in due time, we have to give them the chance to join us so that we can have a bigger market and a bigger economy.
Okay. Because it is so pathetic, so worried that you are in Africa. At first, I heard Africa, you can go anywhere in Africa. It's only the colonial master that can partition this, boundary this. But now, if someone is from Ghana here going to Kenya, East Africa, most of the times, honorable, it is not easy. Africans, what at all do they have there?
Yeah, there's a saying that if you want to travel to your fellow African countries, it is more expensive than traveling from Africa to US or European countries. So that's why I'm saying that the system will not easily allow you to make it. The European countries have seen the African countries like their colonies or their babies, where they've been getting resources cheap. And so when we are well organized, they will not be so happy about it. So they are playing game with our mind. You know, now colonization is taking an imperial form. It's not physical as it used to be. It's a mental something. So it's good that we train ourselves to be mentally strong. If the African leaders are not mentally strong enough to know, that could be one of the challenges of implementing the ECO. Because some of the leaders will not even see the benefits or the advantage of it. They will, ignore it and look down on it somewhere.
Okay, Ben. So, what should ECOWAS do now to ensure the ECO delivers jobs and growth?
Yeah, before the ECO will deliver job and growth, the ECOWAS need to make sure that all these member countries that fall under ECOWAS need to have a low inflation rate and make sure that they have a single digit inflation rate, in the sense that it will not affect the other African countries. You need to make sure that you spend within your budget. You don't need to do things beyond your limit. Do things within your limit so that it will not overburden the currency. Sometimes when you overspend, it affects the currency compared to other currencies. You realize that your currency is lower than the other currencies. So countries need to make sure that they have low inflation rates, spend within their budget, then they can fall under the ECO currency.
Okay, so I'll come back to you again. Let me go to Honorable, same question. So now, what should ECOWAS do now to ensure the ECO delivers jobs and growth?
Yes, so we are talking about growth or a market.
Yeah.
And market does not easily come when you don't have the capital to do businesses.
Yeah.
We are saying that the ECO will make it easy for us to buy goods from Nigeria, even though you are in Ghana, and vice versa. But where is the capital to be doing the business? So the various countries should be looking at ways where they can empower their citizens to have money to do businesses. Once we start using a common currency, it's going to be easy for us to transact business with one country and the other. Should you say a car is in a certain cipher, it can be difficult for some of us to appreciate what it means because we didn't grow up getting used to what a cipher is. It's the same way they also don't get familiar with our Ghana cedis. So definitely once we start using a common currency, it's going to give us the opportunity to appreciate the value of goods and services and also know how we can transact business with one another. So we should create an enabling environment for business growth as well. Like I said before, we should make sure that there is easy mobility. It's not just about the currency, but the ability to move from one country to the other. The border restrictions should be looked at. Because if you have a common currency, let's say it's difficult to go to Togo, then maybe unless we do transaction online. But you can't always do online transactions. You need to do in-person transactions. So the ECOWAS countries should make it easy, right? And it should also be like, because this country is doing very well, all of us are going to migrate to that country. I mean, subtly, you can see that South Africa finds itself in such a situation because they are making their economy better. It looks as if more African countries want to go there, and that is one of their cry. You understand? So we should also look at ways. I'm not saying what they are doing is good, it's not good. Especially when they have whites there and they cannot sack them. It's not the whites who are South Africans, they cannot sack them. When they see blacks, they are going against them. It doesn't really speak well of South Africa. South Africa is a country that we all value, right? I mean, we like them, so we pray that they will do the same thing, reciprocate it to us. Because once you are on African soil, you are an African, and we need to love one another. You know, what's going on about South Africa and Ghana and other countries is not going to help their economy in the long run. I mean, the news is out there. Once we are withdrawing from them, it is affecting their businesses, you know, abroad. So we really need to integrate, not just like ECOWAS. We are looking at the North African having a common currency like the ECOWAS, and then the East African countries. Just that for now we are starting in blocks. So it's going to be a time we need to have a common currency more than the ECO.
Okay. So, Ben, do you have something?
No. Well, no. What I want to add is, you know, when Nkrumah was pushing for one Africa, these are some of the things why Nkrumah was pushing for one Africa, so that there will be easy movement within all African countries. But here lies the case. If I want to go to Togo, just here to go do business, I mean, the processes that I have to pass through, it's hectic, because there is no oneness between the African countries. So we need to do well as African country. We need our leaders need to do well as well. Thank you. So our leaders need to do well as well, so that we can better our African economies. Okay.
Okay, all right, well, you have another.
Yes, I think we also need to look at skills training. We really have to look into skills training, because the various African countries have not had the opportunity to really skill their labor force, and it's quite unfortunate. We go to school and most of what we study are not practical. Most of what we study are theoretical. I understand China took a move to remove some of their courses that are archaic and not relevant, right, in helping to create jobs. So once we are talking about creating jobs using the ECO as a common currency, we should also look at creating relevant skills. Most of what we study are too theoretical, and most of the mentality when we go to school is to be getting employed by someone. I find it very unfortunate when we are saying that we are even going to train our children in their very tender age to be speaking Arabic,
Spanish,
and
China.
Chinese. The question is, will the Chinese be speaking any African country, any African language? Would they allow their children to be taught that way? So what we are doing is not what is expected of us.
It's not right.
We really need to examine it. We are talking about having a common African, economy with about 4 million population, 400 million population. That means that we should be thinking about how we can speak one common language as well. It's not just having one common currency and making it promoting easy mobility, by being able to speak one African language in our curriculum, which should be compulsory. Then the local ones we have here will be, also additional lessons we should be learning based on what region you are in. So we should really know our role as leaders in delivering to the expectation of people who has put us there to lead them and to make their lives better.
So what you said concerning the language that they said they are coming to start, that is the Chinese.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this YouTuber who appears to be my friend, Wademaya. He's been traveling a lot and is school at China. Says for them, even when they give birth, they try to tell them wrong things about us.
Yeah, it's true.
So why is it that we are pushing our? That's what.
No, you see, what we are simply
language.
doing is that is why I'm saying that if you want to develop Africa, we will have a position. If you are made to learn their language at a tender age, because you know their language, you easily travel there. Why are we traveling to Europe? Because we can speak their language easily. But why wouldn't we encourage other people to rather learn our language and come and adapt to our economy and bring innovation here? Right? Today, Elon Musk, even though he's a South African, he's become the world's richest person. Because they know how to really integrate people into their society. It's the same thing we have to do here. We should learn our language and be part of us. So that when you make great invention, we'll call you African and the world richest person in the world.
Yeah, exactly. So Ben, do you want us to use our language, or you want us to allow them to be teaching that what is the name, and the Chinese and other things that?
Yeah, what I want to ask you. So, as a parent, how would you feel if you are communicating with your child in another man's language? As a parent, how would you feel? Or let's say if you should take your child to your village and they are communicating with the child, and the child can't speak his or her mother tongue. How would you, a parent, how would you feel? So to me, I think we should value what we have and promote what you have to the Western world.
And nobody will promote or develop it for you until you do your own thing. Today, the African is refusing to have its own international news network to proclaim their stories, their achievements and invention. Even when we become richest black people, we don't try to create institutions that will promote our achievement. And that is why the world is feeling or thinking that we are not doing much. Meanwhile, we are doing things, but they don't get the chance to get to know what we are doing. So you see BBC, they stand for Europe. You see CNN, they stand for America. You see Al Jazeera, you see that they are speaking for Middle East. So the African and the world richest people, or African richest people, what are they doing to promote us? But I like the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote.
Nigeria?
Yeah, he's saying that what he wants to do now is to leave a legacy. He's going beyond being African richest person to leaving a legacy. That is why he's investing so much into oil refining to make the African countries get the oil at a very cheap and affordable price.
Okay. Okay. Then your last word.
Yeah. You know, as always, I say, if you want the best version of you, look no further. You can contact Uchu Clothing on 0247 250 345. 0247 250 345, and we'll sort you out.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Samuel Ashiagbo. So, what are we talking about? We said a single ECOWAS currency will mean cheaper goods, bigger markets, and more jobs. But it will only work if we align our economies and trade more with each other first. The ECO isn't just about money. It's about whether 400 million West Africans can build one economy together. Thank you once again, Honorable Samuel Ashiagbo and Benjamin Luchu. My name is Ni Oda Kofi. Catch us same time next week. Bye for now.